Hello, Fruit Force. This is Captain Fruit reporting for duty for another episode of Road Rage, and this is another one when I'm on one of my morning walks. You know, it's a little chilly out, but it sure is a beautiful sunny day. You know, I'm perfectly happy and satisfied to put a jacket on just to be out and have the sun come down on my face. And that sort of is an intro to what this video is today. It's another one of my ComicsGate and attitude videos. I think, I might have a few more of these in me. And this one on the attitude side is maintaining that good attitude and how you do it. And that's with joy. You need joy in your life. And by the way, this is I'm walking right now, so if I'm breathing a little heavy, it's because I'm keeping a brisk pace. Also, if you enjoy these videos, and I hope you get some joy out of this, because I do, I enjoy making them. That's one of the ways I find my joy. You can help this channel simply by hitting like, subscribe, and hitting that notification bell. And even more so, go ahead and leave a comment below. Maybe a way that you get joy. How do you find joy in life? Or do you not have enough joy? Just go ahead and leave a comment down below, and hopefully you find this video, maybe even dare I say, a little therapeutic. You know what? I think it is for me. With everything going rough and tough right now and keeping busy, thinking about the joy and finding ways to focus on that is always a good thing. And speaking of good things, if you don't mind, if you find yourself in a good position where you can help this channel, we have a couple ways. We have a Patreon. We now have a subscribe star that you can join too. We'll have all the same perks as Patreon does. And we also have a one-time donation with a Streamlabs OBS link down below. And we would greatly appreciate any help that you can if you find yourself in that position. Well, anyway, the reason I was thinking about this too is I've been talking about this and doing the attitude videos and things, and somebody asked me, how do you find your joy? And that really got me thinking. That's a great question. And so I took a lot of time to think about this. I look at it this way. Being grateful. We have to learn to be grateful for what we have and be thankful. It's so easy to think of the glass half empty, but if you really ponder on that and focus on that, your head would not want to get up off the pillow in the morning. Gratefulness is a building process as well. You have to start your day looking at all the responsibilities you have. We tend to do that. Everything that could go wrong. Those things will all take away our happiness. And as I said, if we focus on just those things, we never get up. I can see that. I get up, I have to go to work in the morning, I exercise to keep in shape, and then later on I have to go home. I have a long drive. I have an hour or so drive to work and back each day. I have to go take care of somebody right now that's keeping a lot of my time busy. I have to make sure my kids are learning what they need to, spending time with them, which I love that part, by the way. But by the time the day that's all done, I don't have much time for myself. So nevertheless, we have to focus on the wins, though, the good things. If we look at what's positive and not dwell on the negative, well, guess what? The positive is going to win. You can hear that, as you can see, I'm taking a walk. You can hear somebody's car beeping. So I was thinking about the wins and the happiness, and I thought, what might be a good way just to make sure you keep happy is, I'm not a journal kind of guy, a happiness journal, if you will, and that's not my way. So what works for me is when I have my prayer time, I make sure to take time during that prayer time to be thankful and talk to God about what makes me happy. What am I thankful for? What am I grateful for? What is my gratitude? And whatever works for you, whether it be prayer time, writing things down in a journal, walking and recording notes, who knows what it is. It could help you. It's going to help you focus on what's good in your life and help you keep your emotions and attitude in check. It really does. It allows, what are the great things that are going on rather than focusing on the bad? So, for example, I had to have a furnace man come out and check my furnaces in my house. I could look at it as, oh, here's going to be a furnace bill. Here we go again, another, more money going out. But no, I'm looking at it the positive way. My furnaces were maintenanced. Now I shouldn't have to worry about them this winter. As it gets cold, I should be able to have heat. So, there's ways to change your focus. I'd rather make sure that is. I also have a pellet burner in my home I use to keep heat. And I have a blower fan that's noisy. I think the blower fan's going out, and I'm looking forward to it as an opportunity because I go, well, last year I replaced an auger motor and an exhaust fan motor. There's only going to be one other motor to possibly replace in this thing, and then it should be good for another decade. So, once again, looking at the positive things. That tends to work for me. Remember, all of our emotions are always at our beck and call. Our attitude is in our control. So when I pull up something, and think about it, I want to try to think of how it can be beneficial, not just, oh, woe is me. How can this be a good thing? I'm grateful for the work I do. If I'm not, I'll find better work for myself. That's why I took the job I'm at now. My last job, I was working at that one job, and I had two jobs. I was working at that one particular job over 77 hours a week in a lot of cases. I'd get home sometimes and get called and have to go right back in. Until one day, little Frugal looked at me and said, Dad, I never see you anymore. And I thought, wow, things have to change. And I did realize, too, I was at that place for 11 years. The last 2 years, I didn't have joy anymore of going there. So I changed my work. I went to a different place. I took a similar kind of job, but slightly different, and I'm enjoying it. We have more control than we realize sometimes. We have to keep that in mind. And I choose to put myself in places in which I'm happy. And I think I've got one more change left in my tank. I know another field, similar sidestep field of interest that I might try to finish off my career in. So I'm debating that. So I have to say, be thankful. Think about what you are grateful for, too. I do. I try to think what I'm grateful for. What makes me happy? Is it a car? Yeah, I'm grateful for my car that gets me back and forth to work. I'm grateful every day it doesn't break down. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for my subscribers that just take the time to care enough to even listen to me. I mean, that's a big thing. You only have so many hours a day, and you choose to listen to me? I'm grateful for that. Now let's think about that a little bit more and look even closer. With arming ourselves with what we're grateful for, we're defending ourselves against the negativity that we have. It's so easy to focus on. So when I pray and things, for example, I try to think of these things. I am grateful in my health for, what am I grateful for? Well, I'm grateful that I'm fully functional because, once again, I can let things go negative. I am grateful for the relationships. I'm grateful in work for what? I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful with what? I am grateful to whom? And I am grateful in general for what? And if I think about those things, really, you know what? Life ain't so bad, even when things are going terribly wrong. So once we start focusing on what we're grateful for, our attitude tends to skew towards the good things. Yes, we can talk about things that we don't like. Absolutely. I'm not saying we should never be negative. No, we should be able to be open and honest, but not let it destroy our lives and get us mad. As I said, I had to change my job situation in that case. And that's not the first time. I had another time, too. Twice I've actually done this. I ripped my wrist apart. I lifted something. I used to be in really good shape, and it was I think it was like 375 pounds, and I was able to curl that. Unfortunately, the weight of the thing I was lifting slid to one side. My wrist couldn't take it. It ripped it apart. So I had to go through therapy, steel brace for over a year, where I could only wiggle the tips of my fingers. And that was a very negative thing because I was a semi-pro musician. And how am I going to play guitar when I can barely wiggle my tips of my fingers? So that forced me to play guitar in a new way and forced me to try keyboarding more too. Whereas I still couldn't do much, but I could do like a major chord with the way that my steel brace was formed. So I did that. I did therapy, and unfortunately, it's the hand that I'm dominant with, so that messed up my drawing, my art, everything, pretty much. But it focused me on learning how to use my left hand better. And I'm not going to say I'm ambidextrous by any means, no way. But I will say I'm thankful for the opportunity that I gained from that to, get a little better with the other hand. Unfortunately, I ripped my wrist apart twice, and then that caused me to have to change careers. But you know what? I'm grateful for it because that push put me in a career I enjoyed so much more. So I had to focus on why am I grateful, not, oh, woe is me. And I'll be honest, I still don't have 100% in that hand and things like that, and I probably never will. But, I'm grateful I still have it, and I can still use it. I'm grateful that I can handle most of the mundane tasks that I was not able to handle when I was hurt and had that darn brace on and everything else, like taking out the trash. You know, I'm grateful I can do those kinds of things. Now, granted, there's some tools I can't turn a screwdriver. That's so I have to use power tools for that, which is, you know what? Fine, I love power tools. They're cool. So, you know what? Not so bad after all. So here's another way too. Remember I said find your joy, find grateful, but here's the thing. You have to find what makes you happy. Get that hobby in your life. Make sure you have time for it. I'm very guilty of that. Like right now, I've been very busy. But you know, doing these videos, that's a hobby of mine. I enjoy it. I wouldn't do these if I didn't enjoy doing them. They're fun to me. They're therapeutic. Other forms of happiness to me is playing games with my kids. Board games, or we play video games. We carve out a night each week. We try to, as long as I don't have to run and do something. But where it's just family game night where we play games together, no matter what kind of game it is, board, video games, or what. Little Frugal, American Dream, they love it. My wife, we all have a great time doing that. And I am completely thankful for that family time that we get. But on a personal, just me time, I've gotten away from this, and that's playing music. I used to, if I was frustrated, go home, turn the amp up to 11, right? And I got away from that. I haven't been doing it for a lot of years now, and I'm just starting to get back to it again, picking up that guitar and going, wow, I remember why this was so fun. I do miss the band days, though, where the drummer's thumping away, the bass player's going, and I'm tearing it up a hot riff. There's just nothing like that feeling of being on stage, doing whatever it is that you're doing. I miss that a little bit. I might need to get that joy back. I don't know how I'll ever fit the time in for another band, but even just playing by myself is bringing that joy back. Or sitting there and playing a game, whether it be a hacker slasher game, a platformer, who knows. Find what is fun for you, because if you don't, why do you want to get up in the morning? Focus on what you enjoy and make sure you carve some time for yourself to do it. Being kind to yourself will help you by promoting your joy, and will help your happiness and help keep you with that positive attitude. Because otherwise we're going to become miserable. And that's what those SJWs are. They get up every day and do nothing but complain. They probably hate their job or lack of job. They hate their life. So of course they're going to complain about everything under the sun. If it's getting in shape, get up and get in shape. I get up extra early every morning now. I've been doing that for I think maybe 3 months at least, and making sure I get an extra long walk in the morning before work, or even walk while I'm at work. I'll take get there early and walk there. This is my situation. It works out well. And if it can be, take a walk later. I'm enjoying what I can. I love the outside, the sun. So I'm bookending this video. I started with outside walk in the sun. I'm ending it with outside walk in the sun. And I know I'm helping me get more healthy and having to do something I enjoy, just a nice, pleasurable walk. I don't think there's a single answer that works for everybody with keeping your attitude in check and maintaining your happiness. And that's probably the hardest thing. You have to figure out what works for you. As I said, the things that work for me is my prayer every day. That helps settle me. I enjoy my exercise. That helps getting out the music. I miss that. I'm bringing that joy back. Doing these videos, playing with my kids. I'm looking at all those positivity things instead of focusing on everything that's been going wrong and taking tons of my time every week. And you can do that too. Break open that comic book and read it and enjoy it. Fire up that video game. Have a great time. Get out there for a nice walk and enjoy the sun rather than focusing on the darkness. All right, guys, I know this was a soapbox rant, but I suggest you do that. I think people in ComicsGate should do this a little bit more too. We've been fighting the battle for so long against all the bad and the negativity. It's easy to be drawn down into it. And so, once again, I'm no authority here, but I suggest this. If you find yourself in constant battles and constant strife, you need something to energize yourself so you can keep into those battles, but not let it drag you down into those pits where you don't want to be and have your attitude go the way that you don't want it to be either. Instead, you can fight those battles, maintain a positive attitude, and get off the computer or get out every day and just go, you know what? I'm enjoying life. I am living life and enjoying it rather than just muddling and getting through it. All right, guys. Once again, my soapbox is over, so I appreciate your time. And until next time, keep it frugal.